So Lucia, we've had the pleasure of your company here in the office today, and I know that you're in job shadowing to try to figure out maybe some of the things that you'd want to do. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Lucia. I'm 16 and I'm currently in year 11. And my main interests in school are mainly media and film studies and business, and I'm very interested in that field, and I feel like in the future I could really pursue it. So I feel like this is a great experience and I'm really enjoying the job shadowing.
Okay, that's fantastic. I know that you've had fun with our marketing team today, and I know that they've enjoyed having you as well. I'm wondering if you ever think about cybersecurity in your day-to-day life.
Honestly, no, and I feel like most people of my generation don't really think about the cautions and like the problems that come with not being aware of like your security online and stuff.
Okay.
And I feel like being hacked or someone going into your account is not something that like you think about daily, and like depending on what you post as well, I feel like people of like my generation don't really think before they post.
I'm sure you in school get plenty of awareness campaigns,
Yes.
And your teachers will talk to you about online safety and these kind of things, which are all very, very important elements of staying secure, right? And there's also about safety around yourself and these kind of things, which is important, right? But I think it's fair to say that cybersecurity impacts everyone, and everyone needs to be aware of it. It's part of being a good citizen. It's part of being a good digital citizen as well. And you know, some of the things that I'm always concerned about when we talk about, for instance, social media. Obviously, Facebook, that's last year, but you probably have other social media accounts that you stay in touch with your friends. It's of course thinking a lot about what you post. And do you know why that's the case, and why cybersecurity professionals, they are concerned about some of these things?
People post like their opinions or like what they feel without thinking beforehand, like the problems that could come with it. And I feel like also as well, once you post something on the internet, it's there forever. So even if people make mistakes or like they try to delete it, there is still digital footprint of what people have said. And people in my generation seem to be very straightforward and very brutal about their opinions. So once they come to the realization that not everyone agrees with it and not everything that they say is like accepted in society, trying to delete that would be very difficult, and it could like stay with them forever.
You know, you highlighted one important thing is that stuff stays forever, right?
Yes.
And that's a key element, that you need to remember that what you do today potentially can impact you later on.
Yeah.
That's one element of it. Another element is that you give away a lot of information about yourself that can be utilized in different kind of scenarios. So in the cybersecurity industry, we talk about something called social engineering, and social engineering is about someone utilizing knowledge about an individual to gain trust and gain rapport with that specific individual, and through that rapport then achieve their goal, whether that is, you know, skimming off credit card information, which is what sometimes we see a lot, or it could also be skimming away account information, which is probably the setting that we often work in when we talk about companies, right? And social media is a great source of knowledge about an individual. There's another element of social media, which is that when you post something, you also give away other information. So for instance, if you go on vacation and you get on a plane and these kind of things, when you're saying, oh, I'm enjoying myself here on this beautiful island somewhere on vacation, you're also saying that you're not at home. And I think we're blessed to live here in the UAE, where we are very, very safe, but and probably crime is not the same as other places in the world, but social media is a key source also for criminals to figure out where they're going to strike if it's a burglary or something like that.
I feel like people who post pictures of like their location or simple things that they don't think about, like how it could affect them in the long term, about how people could like find out like small details of either like people in the background, or like people could find out like your location and stuff just by small details that you don't notice before you post, and that could really like affect the person or like put them in danger, like without them knowing. So what are a few things that I could act quickly on to make sure that I'm safe online?
I think staying a little bit cautious, that's a good first step. Thinking about before you post and what you post around, and also thinking about which kind of setting could this be seen in the longer run. That's one element which I think. The other thing, when we get a little bit into the more technical elements of it, right, is to make sure that the services and the apps that you feel is important to you, like for instance your Instagram account and these kind of things, that you need to protect them in the right way. And that means enabling some of the advanced security features you have there. So in Instagram and in many of the social media platforms today, you can enable strong authentication, and it may be that you don't know how to do that, but then look at online guides on Instagram's website to see how you enable two-factor authentication, as an example. So that when you log in from a new device, that you are being requested to authenticate with an additional factor outside of just your username and password. Passwords today is a very, very important part of staying secure in your applications. And another element which is important about passwords is that they should be unique. That's probably the most important thing about a password. We talk about complexity of passwords, and yes, passwords should not be in a dictionary, they should not be simple in the way that you construct them. But the most important thing about a password is that it's unique. And the reason why is that if you lose a password and you reuse that password across all of your services, the blast radius, as we call it in cybersecurity, so that's the amount of services that you have to deal with afterwards, and the amount of services you have to reset your password with, and the amount of services that the person with access to your password potentially have access to, can be very, very big, right? Finding some kind of way that you can deal with passwords in a good way, whether that's utilizing your password manager that you have in your mobile phone, or whether it's utilizing other services that allows you to deal with passwords in a good way. Lucia, we want to, of course, thank you for spending time and talking a little bit about what also impacts you in a cybersecurity setting. And then if there's anyone else who would like to do job shadowing with us, it's something that we would love to do. It's something that allows us to interact with a generation that we maybe do not see when we're out with clients on a day-to-day basis, and it's highly enjoyable.
Thank you for having me.